What's good, y'all? So hear me out. I was playing Fortnite with my girl earlier today, and I don't really play this game, but I play it with her because she likes it, and I like playing with her. So anyway, after we got done playing, I had this thought in my head, and I know it sounds crazy, but today I'll be breaking down Fortnite and life are basically the same game. Hear me out. This particular perspective is not only helpful to like Fortnite people, I'll explain it in layman's terms as well. But in this game, right, you start with nothing. You don't have anything. Just like in life. You're born, you're just here. But as you grow older, as time goes on, you figure out things, you learn new skills. And in this game, you open chests. You travel around the map. You pick where you want to go. You pick what chest you want to open. But in this chest, it feels kind of random. Just like how in life, you don't really know what you're doing on social media in life, it seems like everyone knows what they're doing, but nobody really has an idea. They're all just picking random chests that interest them. And you get different things. Different items exist in these chests, just like in life. You learn new skills. You have to get gear, you have to get knowledge, and you have to get experience. And you're in like this random lobby. You don't pick your teammates, you don't pick the people you're around, you don't pick the area that you're from really. Like even in Fortnite, yes, you have a map, but you don't get to pick the map. You just get to pick where you land. And that's just like in life. Once you get old enough, you can move anywhere that you want to go. Some people are born into better situations. You know what I mean? In Fortnite, when you land, some people have blue chests where you have like super rare items, and then you have an upper hand on the other players in this game. But just because you have a blue chest, just because you have these rare items, that doesn't mean that you're going to win. You still have to fight. Your choices matter more than your spawn point. In this game of Fortnite, for another point, you have to loot fast or you lose fast. If you don't try to learn new skills, things that will give you an upper hand on other players. If you don't learn these things early, you have a less advantage than other people to be successful, to win the game. So if you play the game, you know the storm is always closing in. Time is always counting down. You can't stop the time. You can only control where you are, what you do with the choices that you made so far. Think about this. You can land anywhere on the map, loot the worst, you can loot the best. None of these factors really determine your end goal. It's not about how you start, it's about how you end. But at the same time, in the same breath, you have to choose your choices wisely, because if you don't, then the percentage of you winning lowers. So just be wise with your choices. And another point is that every fight teaches you something. Whether you win or lose, you're going to learn how to get better every time. And you're not going to win at your first time at Fortnite. You know what I mean? You're not going to win at your first time at trying something. You're not going to be the best. But the more games you play, the more attempts that you give at it, the better you get. And it's like compound interest. You know, you learn more every time. Life's the same. You might have setbacks, you might have losses, but it's going to get better. You're going to get better. So don't stress it. And I think the main reason why I kind of breaking it down in this way is because if you take the seriousness out of life so much, then you have a bird's eye view of it. You see that yes, it gets hard. Yes, it's not that simple, but in a way, it is that simple. If you work at something, you're going to get better. If you continue to try, you're going to get better. If you continue to have faith, you're going to get better. So you just have to keep going. Also, just like in life, there's different play styles. You have people that camp and you have people that push. So if you don't know what these things mean, I'll explain them to you. People that camp are people that just sit back, let everyone do the dirty work, and then they come in at the last second and try and win. People that push are people that just rush in and just try and go crazy, right? They go all in, all or nothing. And both of these techniques are useful at certain times. You just have to know when to use them, because you don't want to push too much. You don't want to just go into every situation. That's not smart. But you also don't want to camp and just sit back and let everyone else do the work, because then it might be too late. And then you don't learn if you just camp all the time. You have to get into action. And just like in life, you have to know when to be bold, go all out, and you also have to know when to chill and be more conservative, because there's a time and place for everything. In the game, just like in life, there's skins, right? People look different. People look cooler than others. You know, in this game, you can pay for skins. In the game of life, you could pay for cool clothes, cars, whatever the case may be. But just because you look cool, just because it looks cool on the outside, again, especially in this social media age that we're all living in, that doesn't mean that it's perfect. You know, it doesn't mean because you have the cool things that you have an upper advantage. Yes, it can be used as leverage, but that doesn't mean that because someone else has things that look better on the outside, that they're better than you. If you play the game, then you know just because you have cool skins doesn't mean you're going to win. So I say that to say focus on your build, focus on what you do best, focus on your skills, focus on your passions, because these are the things that's going to help you grow as an individual and give you the upper hand in the game. Next point that we're going to go to is that the circle gets smaller, but the stakes get higher. So again, as you know, if you play the game, the storm is always closing in. The more time that goes on in the game, the circle gets smaller, and basically it gets to a point like this, where it's just you and somebody else. It starts like this, but then it gets like this. And as life progresses, the margin of error gets tighter, but you also get better in your decision making. You know what to do because you played the game so much. You went through all of these experiences. You went through these wins and losses. You went through last second clutch moments that you had to just, you don't even know how you made it out. So with this experience comes trust in yourself, comes trust in your decision making. And you have to have that in life. You can't have a paralysis to where there's so many options to where you don't know what to do, right? Imagine you're dropped in this world, this fictional game, that there's so many options, there's so many decisions that you can make that you just end up doing nothing. That's also not a way to win. You have to make the choices. And even if you make the wrong choices, that's not the end. The last point I want to come to is only one person wins. Obviously, if you're in a team, then you know that team wins, but only one group of people win, right? But everyone learns. And the beauty of the game is that everyone will eventually get their time. Everyone would eventually get their turn. If you've played this game Fortnite enough, then you've had to have a victory royale at least once. At least once. Unless you just don't try. And if you don't try, then you can't win. But that's just like in life. You keep playing, you keep fighting. No matter what anybody else has, no matter what their loadout is, no matter what their privileges are, their advantages are, have your chance to win. So don't be focused on what other people are doing. Be inspired by them. Learn what they're doing right. And once you learn what they're doing right, you take what they're doing right and wrong and implement it into your life, then every day you'll get better. Just think about keep playing the game, keep trying your best, keep doing your best, more importantly, because there is no try, there's only do. And you got this. Winning isn't everything, but surviving, adapting, and learning is. So keep going. Don't give up. The world is yours. Peace.